All right. Things posted. Stuff set up. We can get right into it, I guess. Kill. We're trying a lower exposure rating to try to pick up like proper colors and stuff. We might up it. I don't know. Still didn't bring over the better camera, mostly because I need it to record stuff at the other spot. I kind of hate having it in two locations. I don't know. We were going to have some, Tom, but then, like, all the ones I recorded when I was going over them, there were just issues. Like, I kind of knew there were issues playing them because, like, half the rules we didn't use properly. Like, I had this whole big plan, kind of this grandiose plan of like, oh, we'll do all this and it'll work out, right? But yeah, I should not have done that. Because now I'm kind of like, I'm feeling bad about it because everything now feels like a half measure. Like I had like 10, 15 hours of recorded battle reports I just can't really use anymore. Because they're not good. They're not up to like a decent quality. We didn't really, the teams we played, like, we didn't get all the rules right the whole time. And the more we played, the more it was, like, we kind of fell into a little bit of a trap. What's up, Go For It Painting? We kind of fell into a little bit of a trap with the Ashes of Faith campaign, because we assumed it would be, like, decent. But the balance was so hard in the Chaos Cult's favors that, like, no matter what we did for the entirety of the recording, it was like the Chaos Cults were just going to win. And that's something that, like, I started to realize probably by game 2 or 3. I was like, this is not a series I can post. Because no one's going to want to come back for episode 2 of watch the Chaos Cults put the Inquisition in their place over and over and over and over again. So the plan now, I have a few things on deck for like what I want to do. The next battle report we do might actually not be for Kill Team. It might be for Chaos or for what the hell? For Warhammer Underworlds? Jesus. Because I actually learned how to play it. It's quick. I could easily put together a video for it, going over specific strategies and actions taken. It doesn't take up a lot of space when it comes to me needing to have like my camera equipment set up. And I think that could be cool to show off. I do want to do another Kill Team one. I need to think of ways to reassess how to do it, though. I want to keep some production value, of course. I mean, that's what personal thing. But at the same time, I also have to realize that making a battle report takes about 8 to 9 hours past the recording of it, which is usually like 3 or 4 hours. It's not viable for me to do it like as a straight up thing until maybe I sort out how the channel can work for, you know, me being supported while doing it. So like I have super chats and stuff here. I want to get memberships together. I don't know if I want to do a Patreon. I feel like people seem to get into that a little bit. But like, I don't know, I feel like I could just funnel it all and focus on what people get out of like a YouTube membership, as opposed to having it split all over the place and trying to figure out what I can do to like provide fun things for people from like all directions, right? Whereas with a YouTube membership, I could do member streams, I could do easy stuff that just kind of all works directly through YouTube. bind it with Discord. I can give people with memberships higher tiers of Discord ratings, which would do more for like special streams and videos. And if I make enough that way to the point where I'm like not that worried about having to focus on other things, I could easily see video output kind of slowing down a little bit just so that I could focus on getting some battle report videos out. It's kind of an issue though, because I have looked around. Like I got into it wanting to do battle reports, and then I looked around and I started seeing all these other channels that did battle reports, and only a few of them like kept doing battle reports, and those few usually have like 10 other ways of making income for the channel. But then like the channels that didn't and mostly make their money through maybe like viewership on YouTube, this is kind of a bigger overarching problem with YouTube and the way it works. YouTube wants you to make many videos that are like a half hour or more. That's kind of like the thing they love, is people watching really long videos to get multiple ads and like being stuck in on those. So I would need to make half-hour long videos for people to watch to get ads, and in order for the channel to grow, I would need to make like 1 or 2 of them like a week. And doing that as a battle report is literally like, hey, how quickly do you want to burn out? So there's a few things on my list right now of stuff I need to think of doing, and that consists of how do I speed up the process of making a battle report? That's huge. If I can quickly do it, it's like, oh yeah, if I can cut down like 4 hours of editing time, I'll probably be more inclined to think of doing it. But I don't want to lose quality, like I said. I want to actually maintain a level of visual aesthetic that I can be happy with. So I gotta try to figure out how to sort of naturalize some stuff. In particular, if I could figure out how to build the electric lightning bolt transition that I use into like a single layer without having to like drag and drop effects and stuff to get it to work, that would be completely pog. That's something I gotta figure out if it's even possible. I know I can set up a separate layer for the animation, but I don't know if that animation will affect what's below it, or how to figure out how to get that to happen. Wait, what are you saying, Tom? Play the game in Tabletop Simulator and then reenact it. That's gonna drastically improve or increase my editing time, right? Like if you play it on Tabletop Simulator and then have to physically get the pieces and the terrain together perfectly as compared to Tabletop Simulator, and then try to do that as like a, hey, that is so much more time. Like that is actually way more time at editing. And yeah, no, the notepad thing is fine. Like, okay, so the way I do it is my current system, which could probably change. My current system is I record the audio. What's up, Gut? I record the audio of the battle report while we're playing it. It all goes through kind of the same situation, the same like setup, right? And then when it's time to make the video, I'll spend a little bit of time. Basically, I kind of overlap the two videos in Premiere so that I have like the clean audio with what I'm looking at. right? And the way I record, I've cut out a lot of the chaff during the recording. Basically, every action taken in the recording, I will physically say what's happening. And this is something I tried to get my friends behind, but like they still play to their method of not actually like being clear on what's going on. Like they'll usually just do something and then they'll say something real quick and then just do it because like they want to get to the point where they're rolling dice. They want to, you know, have that moment, which, yeah. But then it's like, oh, you used this ploy for this moment right here, and we're doing that. That way, when I'm playing it, when I get the playback together, what I do is I kind of chop up the video where all the different actions take place. There's usually a forward to the turn where I list off everything that we're doing, and I can literally fast forward through that part and hear myself or my friend be like, all right, I'm using this tech play. And then I just fast forward, all right, I'm using this tech play. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I can write that all down, and then I basically flavor the script based off of those kind of notes. And it's easy. It's easy-ish. It's easy-esque. And then it's the same during the actual turns. It's kind of the same deal where I'm literally listening to, I use this ploy, I move this character. And I do a section by section little quick sketch of the overarching audio, which is just notes of what action took place, how did it occur, were there any ploys used, yes, no, were rerolls used here, what abilities triggered so I can bring them up in the recording, that kind of stuff. I think we're done the highlight for this guy. We can start working on him. And then I just have to voice it over with flavor to keep people's attention. See, the thing is, when I look at other channels that do the battle reports, have you seen like ever like so many people watch tabletop tactics, and if you watch a tabletop tactics game, the entire premise of it is you have someone voice over during each of the key moments. So setup, you basically take some notes as to where the people set up to see like, oh, these guys go here, these guys, and then you just flavor it, spruce some B-roll together from the multiple angles the cameras are recording at, and then you're done. You're done there. You splice in some, and they're really good at this. You splice in some conversation, basically. People talking about the action, people talking about their hopes for the action, people talking about the ability that's being used, and they try to have a back and forth conversation with that, and they just splice that all together and then B-roll the actions for the rest of the turn or for the rest of the phase. They just take like a couple B-roll shots of like a squad moving or a charge roll, or like, and they just bind it together. And it's like so much weirdly easier because I've noticed they don't really get too far into the minutia of the game. Like they're not listing off the ploys that they're using at all times. They're like skipping so much stuff, but trying to make it feel good by the end of it. My Talos bronze. And like that kind of works. Like it's good, but it's not the direction I want to go in. I want to go in the direction of giving you guys the strats and details, because I think that's important for me, at least, to kind of stand out. Is that you're gonna watch something, you're gonna see, oh, he did this, why do you do that? And then I'm gonna tell you why I did that, and you're gonna go, oh, okay, I got it. Simple. Talos bronze, just the things here. But it takes so much time. No, yeah, the canned, I as a person who also picks up on that very quickly and goes, and then doesn't want to like, oh, I think I see what I messed up with here. Is there a way? Hang on. Like, I picked up on it too, because when I was trying to get back into Warhammer, and I was like, let me take a look at some battle reports to see how things work. That was an issue I had when I looked at their channel, was like, I didn't know why they did half the stuff they did. Or why it worked out the way it worked out. And I was just like, huh. I didn't want to make that my channel. Was like, let me not fully explain to the people watching why something is the way it is. But I get that their stuff is entertaining. It's entertaining as hell. It's so good. Watching those people do anything with the 40K universe, it's so fun. But I needed something different. I just don't know if it's possible. Because, like, looking around, there's a couple Warhammer 40K channels that started doing battle reports and then turned completely into news, rumors, and videos going over strategy. Because of how much time a battle report takes to edit. And, like, I don't want to, fall out of it, but I also don't want to spend, 20 hours really getting into a battle report to try to get you guys that information. Because I feel like it's a slippery slope. Because, for a while there, I was loving Mountainside and what they were doing, and they seem to have slowed down at the beginning of the year. I think they're taking a break or something. But, they were doing, 2 videos a month for a while, and I want to do more than that. And part of what the goal this beginning of the year is to get a lot more, footage, B-roll-y footage. You see a bunch of it in my recent video that I can use to try to, speed up regular videos. I need to make some adjustments to it, because after looking at it for a while, I don't like it, and I want to change something about it, which is fine. Doable. Well, yeah, I mean, it can be kind of cringe, but, here's the thing. Their viewership, then the way YouTube works and the average people consuming stuff on YouTube, they want that. They want that. They love that. That's their favorite stuff. So they're providing what YouTube wants, what a lot of the YouTube community wants to the people watching. It's just how it is. It's kind of like what I've started doing with my skit-based intros and stuff for videos. Trying to play my love of Adult Swim into what I'm producing. No, yeah. KT battle reports have to show everything. They do. They 100% do. It's why I want to make sure you guys see it. It's just a matter, I'm viewing it as a puzzle, right? I'm viewing the result of what I want to make as a puzzle. Because I want to achieve all the functional goals. I need to figure out how to do it. I want to make sure that at the end of the day, it's good enough that you guys will want to come back and check out more. And I really love the idea, like on the Discord, when people start coming in and they're like, hey, I got into Kill Team after watching your videos, and then like I binge watched your videos before a tournament to get ready for some ideas and actions. And then the tournament happened, and I'm like top 3 as like a brand new player because I saw all the little things that you showed that allowed me to expect that from my opponents, or to be able to do things that maybe are outside the box strategically that my opponents don't fully understand yet because they probably only play in their little circles and they don't really know like the larger scale concepts of the game. So like using a tactical hug when no one in the local community knows what a tactical hug is or why to do it could win people the game. Like it's just like fun stuff, and you don't really get that full understanding of why to use it, when to use it, how to use it, when you just see it as like a quick little like, oh, by the way, this guy charged. And like, I'm not going to tell you why he didn't fight. Like you don't really get the full breadth of it. Whereas I would rather you guys get a full understanding of actions taken. But yeah, I don't know about a battle report anytime soon. I'm doing the work. I'm laying the groundwork to make them easier to put together. There is a mild chance, and I'm just saying this now, there's a mild chance the next battle report I do for Kill Team is going to be myself playing against myself. Because it's so hard to get the timing right now with my buddies. Like, my buddies play, but they also have lives. Like, one of them's getting married, so he's got to deal with, like, the wedding stuff and all that. One of them works in finance and is like, he has very little time in a month during like regular monthly season stuff to like play. Like he'll go hard in like certain months. Like we'll play like every day. That's fine. But like not all months. This is not how that works. What's up, Way? And so like historically, though I had to I guess meter out the time we had spare. Like if in the months where he's like, yeah, I can play, I would need to be like, all right, we need to get like 10 games recorded, so I have recordings for the rest of the year to put together as battle reports. But like the last time he had, I treated it as sort of a jumping off point to play games against one of our other friends, and those just we didn't get all the rules right. Like we screwed up a lot. So it's like I don't want to post those videos. Because there were too many like, oh, well, you shouldn't have done that. The way the rule for that unit actually reads is this, and it's like, oh, geez. I wish we knew that beforehand. What up, Rax? So I had like 5 battle reports recorded I just can't use. Which were all 3 hours apiece. So 15 hours of my time. The only game my other buddy and I played was 40K, and I still don't know a good way to record that yet. I'm working on it. The setup we have is great for skirmish. It is god-awful for large-scale games. You say skate park like you're not a biker. You should call it a bike park. Heading to the bike park. Got any cool, got anything planned? Any learning you're gonna bust out? Or you're just gonna refine what you got, take it to mastery level before moving on, trying something new? Oh, geez, you skateboard? Oh wait, oh, so are you skateboarding, or are you sticking with? Are you gonna keep going with bike? Dude, skateboarding at our age, Jesus. I longboard just because it's like, you know, it's getting outside, it's working out, great. It's also not me wanting to like try to get my board on something so I can do a trick, which will inevitably annihilate my ankle. like I don't want to go that route. That's not how they're getting me. Is it Steve-O or is it Bam Margera? One of them lives near here. A long time ago, apparently my buddies got bored one night and they drove out to, I think, their parents' house, because everyone knew where their parents' house was, and they annihilated their mailbox. It was literally like, on one hand it's like, why'd you guys do that? And on the other hand it's like, oh, he sort of cultivated that culture. A little weird. This was forever ago though. It is one of those weird things. It was weird because that time of our lives was around the time I started reading for class specifically. I read The Stranger. I think it's Dostoevsky. Dostoevsky. And The Stranger was literally the book about that kind of mind state. Of just like being stuck in a loop and then wanting to do something. Pretty sure it was Dostoevsky. Is it Albert Camus? Outsiders, 1942. I can't remember. Either way, it's literally a book about somebody stuck in a loop in life to the point where they're like, I need to see kind of if I have new limits or if this is literally just it for me. So they kill a man on a beach that they just run into. I tried so hard not to get the bronze on anything but the parts that I needed to be bronzed, and here we are, fixing the areas that I touched with bronze that I didn't want to. how did this happen? How did it get here? It's gonna be a light anyway, which is fine. I know I read something from Dostoevsky, but like, can't remember what. Maybe it was that book about the guys who were working in the Soviet work camp. Thinking with blue shaders, we're actually going to do red for a lot of like the mechanical oddities and details that are over top of this. But yeah, next battle report, probably, now that I've played it, I'm probably going to try to do an Underworlds one, just to do like an introductory game for Underworlds for people. Because Underworlds is actually really cool. I don't know who in chat has played it or has been thinking about playing it. It's pretty cool, and supposedly they made adjustments to it. There's apparently a bunch of different competitive formats for Underworlds. I think Rivals, Nemesis, and Challenger. And there's this whole like subsection of people that play it who do the deck building side, which, oh my god. I don't know if I want to go that far with it. Cause like that shit's scary. Cause it's not really a collectible card game or a trading card game. I mean, it kind of is, but like there's a side of it where people try to make meta decks, and apparently there's channels that exist that specifically exist to be like, hey, let me show you how to build this amazing deck for this team that's just gonna like devastate your opponent. Locally speaking, the format we play is Rivals, but I think from what I read about Rivals, it's either it's basically pre-build, right? You play the deck that comes with the squad, or you play a Rivals deck. But locally, we play only the faction decks, the team decks, specifically. Which is kind of cool, actually. Wonder if this is too dark now. If I go too high on the gain, the white just becomes reflective, and I hate that. Oh yeah, jazz music. I decided on going jazz just because it's really unobstructive to what's going on screen. You're not going to be overly thinking about what you're listening to. Like, imagine this plus, like, electronic music. Personally, when I work, I like to listen to, like, metal and stuff. just because it keeps me zoned in on what I'm working on. But when I take a step back from that, I realize how jarring that is. I'm just sitting here slowly painting, trying to make sure I'm hyper accurate with my brassing of this model and stuff, and it's like, all right, yeah, enjoy some metal, guys, and it's just friggin' raspy, angry voice in the background. Figured this was better. Just a little bit. Just a little bit better. I do like, even though I'm like, it's difficult to do battle reports, I feel like every morning I wake up, I think, all right, let's try to get a battle report started today. Somehow I want to do it, because I do. It's my calling, man. I want to do it. I want to do it so bad. I've been watching, I think it's Wargaming Live. He has a crazy schedule. I don't know if you guys have seen, like, shout out to, I want to get it right. Hang on. Shout out to Wargaming Live. Let me check my little side thing here. Yeah, Wargames Live. Shout out to him. Almost every weekend there's a tournament, and apparently he just has like an RV filled with recording equipment. And he just travels around the States, and he even sometimes goes over to the Europe, depending, to live stream games, talk about what's going on, talk with the people playing. Like, it's not like ESPN style of like, oh, let's get into the action, but he has like a really good setup for it with like tons of completely mobile adjustable cameras. And he does talk to players. He does do like post-match interviews. It's really cool. It's great seeing like the stuff he's able to pull off. So I've been watching him every weekend. This last weekend they did a tournament, like a small one, which was kind of cool. You got to see some teams that you don't normally see, because that's the best part about small 40K tournaments. Is you're gonna see lists that you'll never see anywhere else. The big tournaments are people who are like trying to min-max the percent chances as hard as humanly possible. So they play very specific teams in very specific ways, because they assume that those things are what's needed to win games. And like, you'll just see the same lists at big tournaments, which is basically just all that. And then you go watch one of these tournaments and you see like, what was it? They had a Space Wolf player who was bulk Wolf Cavalry. That was cool. The one guy who was on a really good winning streak was playing 1,000 Suns army, the kind of the meta way, the Magnus run. He had a squad of Terminators on field turn 1 so that they could do the Umbralific Crystal trick. Like, he was very like, yeah, that's a well-designed, well-thought-out team meant for tournament play. So it was cool to see. They had some weird stuff. They had a list with the new Drakari. That was such a rough game to watch though, because he was fighting sisters. And of course, you know, sisters have their dice manipulation to try to like improve the game they're playing for themselves. But like this guy didn't even need to do that. It was so rough to watch. Like every time he rolled anything, he was like rolling like way more sixes and stuff. And like you'd think like in a normal situation, someone would be like, I think he's cheating. But like in this situation, he's using the dice provided by War Games Live. So it's like those dice just went hot. They went like thermonuclear hot for that match. Crazy to see. And he leaves all his VODs up. You can check him out, War Games Live. It's good to put on. It's literally like 3-4 hour videos of just him talking about what's going on the table, but like not trying to get too far into the minutia of it, but like kind of focusing in on certain actions taken, interesting concepts between the two armies as to like what you might want to look for kind of how the results work. They're really good. If you're thinking of getting into 40K, definitely keep an eye on that channel, because he's streaming a lot. He's actually coming local near here. I think this weekend there's a big tournament going on in Maryland, Tables to Towers, or Tower Table something. Towers and Tables, I think. It's a big store in Maryland. I haven't been to it because it's an hour and a half from my house. So I'm not probably going to go there. Oh, what's up? I like games. Oh, the Elicidian Star Strike. Oh, wait. Elicidian? I am about an hour and a half from that place specifically. I think a few of the people at my local club are going to be going. We're kind of a club. They're actually, okay. So like literally I've been thinking of this group as a club because they mostly play against each other and practice against each other, and they do go to tournaments. But like, you know how you see in some of those replays of tournaments how there's those groups of people all wearing like the same jersey to try to be like, hey, we're like a team. Yeah, we don't do that. We literally, they just go to tournaments wearing whatever they got. Usually like a couple of them are actually, I think, in law, or maybe just one of them. And so like he's usually wearing like decent clothing. And he's just playing games. But like they've never treated it like the whole, oh, let's get a matching shirt kind of situation. And literally, I think yesterday or the day before, they all went to a tournament not far from here, and they all placed top 6. And they were like, maybe we should get shirts made. Oh, nice. Maryland's kind of big though. You might be from a part of Maryland that I most likely will never be able to get out to anytime soon. I want to go to tournaments. I'm starting to really want to. I want to figure out how to get like my recording equipment together to be more mobile so that I can like decently record something that I do out there to make videos on it, because I think that'd be cool. But so War Games Live is going to be at the Battle to End Alzheimer's, which is at Towers and Tables or whatever that place is. So that's kind of cool. He's going to be streaming that, and supposedly a bunch of the people from my local club will be there to play. We'll see how they do. Oh, nice. Is that the guy that won is that the guy that won with High Fleet? Is that what you're referring to? I remember that. Cuz they said, I was wondering why they said Plasma Spam and then said Hive Fleet. And I was like, I don't know why they would say Plasma Spam and Hive Fleet in the same sentence. But I guess if he's known as Plasma Spam. We're not doing bowling team. We're not. Literally what we're thinking, understated hoodies, polos, and just t-shirts. Like understated. To the point where like you'll see what we're wearing and you're like, "Oh, they're all from the same club." That I didn't notice that before. Cuz like you won't like recognize that it's like a shirt meant for something, right? Like maybe it'll have like a nice little logo on it. Because for a lot of them, the like soccer jersey or bowling jersey approach is super cringe. For a lot of them, it's left like a bad taste. Because a few of them go to local tournaments and local games, and I know there's a few like big names in the 40K scene locally. And recently there was a tournament that happened where one of them actually managed to get out there to like play, and he hated it. He hated the whole event. It was the first time he'd been out there. The whole time he was out there, when everyone was talking to him, they put him against one of the big names in the group, like right away, like just out the gate. They didn't know him. Like they didn't know that he's actually like plays in tournaments and is pretty good at trying to have as much information as possible to use to actually interact with people in tournaments. So they put him against him thinking he was a noob. They put this big name, like well thought person in a tournament where there were a bunch of other big names. They put him against a noob. A supposed noob at the beginning, and the whole time like his whole crew was over there basically up talking this guy, like just like, "Oh man, don't worry about the loss you're about to take," and the whole time they're all wearing jerseys and stuff like that. And yeah, the guy from my local group destroyed him just outright. And then the next guy they pitted him against was like a kind of like locally known, I think, like cheater. So the tournaments are timed, of course. You're probably at least mildly aware of it. What apparently happened over the course of the entire game that they played was this guy kept like leaving to go to the bathroom for a while. Like he said they weren't even like done turn 3 or something by the time that time was called. He had almost tabled him off the board. Like literally in the final 2 rounds, he would have tabled him for the most part and then like drastically outran his score. But by the time it got around to scoring, the people from that local group who are from that competitive scene came to the table and were like, well, it's house rules to finish. We don't talk it out. You just take whatever score you have. So at that point, he was losing by like 10 points. And he was just like, what? Like, they wanted him to lose the second round. Like, because they didn't want him to be up in score for final scoring. Like, it was actually kind of dick what they were doing at this place. And like the whole time they're just wearing their jerseys, just, you know, chatting it up, talking about how good their stuff is and how like better they are. Like, it was so weird. It's such a weird sounding thing that I feel like if these guys want to go to their events, I think they're gonna want understated stuff. They're gonna want to be a team, but like, you know, they want to be that team that's like a little quiet, a little to the side, a little stealthy, and is just kicking everyone's asses. I think we go orange. I was thinking red. I think we go orange with his like weird stuff that he's gonna have. Do we go magma droth or do we go nuclear? I think we go nuclear. Nuclear sunrise. No, yeah, there's people that just dress kind of similar. At the tournament that I think Wargames Live streamed recently, there was a team that just they all wore the same Hawaiian shirt. Like, nothing else about them, no names, nothing. They just wore the same Hawaiian shirt. I think that was the recent game. It was either that or the game before. I think it might have been the game before because that was a 5v5, which was kind of cool. That was pretty cool to watch. Well, I know he said he doesn't plan on going back to that place because it just didn't feel right. He was a little bit like at the end. The most annoying part to him was that they came over. Well, one of the guys from the team came over to him while he was like on break, to be like, "Man, you're really good. We've never seen you around here. It would be great to see you come back because it would be great to, you know, get some games in against, you know, more skilled players." And he was like, "I'm never coming back here." Like, some of the people at my local store are competitive, but they're like sanctity of the game competitive. Like, they prefer at the end of the game, win or lose, everyone's smiling. Which, that's a group you want. That's like the best option. Because you can be good, you can be competitive, you can, you know, get the dub and not be an asshole. Like, you don't have to have that attitude of like, I'm gonna treat you like garbage while we play because I want to be like, I want to dominate you mentally kind of situation. It's like, I'd rather play against other people. Do this and then we'll highlight with Wind Rider, I think. It's good though. It's fun playing locally. I actually like that group that I found. It's kind of funny though to see there are multiple groups locally. Like there's multiple approaches to what they want to play locally. Because supposedly that group, the one that he went to go play with, they used to play at a place that I used to play. Like, I went to this place a long time ago. Because, like, I kind of wanted to get into the game. And, like, it was a place that existed solely to play, like, tabletop strategy games. Like, it wasn't like a storefront until later, where they made it a storefront so that they could all get the discount from Games Workshop. That was a thing. They mocked up the place. My locals, it's a Warhammer store that's out in Wilmington. Born to Game is one of them. Specifically the one in Middletown, not Dover. Dover's like an hour and a half from here. What else did I find? Hobbytown. Hobbytown is a good one for me to go to. And then after that, it's like, if I want to find a tournament, I can, if I plan for it, I can maybe go a little bit further, but I'm not like cross-country traveling anytime soon. I wouldn't mind it, but it's just, that's not kind of in the cards. So I'm mostly just local at the Warhammer store, because it works. I know Hobbytown's trying to get in, like a the local Hobbytown is kind of like an everything hobby store. Yeah, you get. I know Hobbytown's kind of a chain. They're open in a weird spot near here, and they're trying to get player interest for the tabletop games to start coming through. But, like, as a storefront, they're more about, like, model cars and planes. Not, like, model, but, like, remote control. Like, they run one of those brands of cars where when you want to build your remote control car, you need, like, a plan. You need to know the parts you want. You got to go in there and start grabbing all that stuff. Oh, nice. I went to, actually, Hobbytown in Middletown. Maybe Middletown. No, not, is it Middletown? I think it's Middletown. I think it's Bear, actually. Is there more than one near here? Oh, yeah, they got some good Gunpla there. Definitely. At decent prices. I was actually really impressed when I went. I was like, oh. Because normally I see convention pricing for Gunpla, and it's always, like, way too much. And then I went to Hobbytown and they were like, oh, we got a good deal, so here you go. That's kind of cool. They just got their back room set up for paint nights and trying to get games in. So I know a bunch of the local people that go to the Warhammer group. I can see that. You going drift cars? That's kind of cool. But yeah, that Hobbytown was where I went when I decided to get into Underworlds, because I had been looking for Weird Hollow for a while. Like, I just didn't see Weird Hollow in stock anywhere at the time, and I was like, I kind of want to get into it, but I only really want to get my starting team, which is Ephelim's Pandemonium. So I went into the store and I was checking it out to see what they had, because I was also looking for Mutilated Vortex Beasts at the time, and you know. It was a long shot, but the hope was there. Speaking of which, the first one shipped out. Poggers! They came back in stock at Games Workshop's online website, and I ordered 2, and none of them had shipped for like a week, so I assumed I wasn't getting any. Haggling is a thing at conventions, just don't be a dick. Like, there's a difference between haggling and then walking up to a table and being like, how about half off everything? Like, that guy's gonna hate you. He's gonna be like, how about half on top of, you know, normal prices for you specifically for the rest of the convention. Like, don't be a dick about it. But yeah, haggling is a thing. The later into a convention you go, the more likely the person will be with being okay to haggle, because they don't want to pack their truck up. The feeling everyone at a convention wants on the last day is grabbing their money box and then putting their tablecloth back in their car and driving off. And that's it. They don't want to walk out with anything. That's not the purpose. Yeah, the hobby town I go to, it's on Route 40. If you know where that is. I don't know if that's Middletown. I think it might not be Middletown. That one was just good. But like they're trying to build up the tabletop scene. They built a room in the back to make it work, but I haven't really heard much. I'm on their Discord, and I've seen people talk about wanting to get games together, and I always bring up like, let me know, right? Like I'm always like, someone was on there earlier like, I want to do a learning game of 40K, and I was like, I 100% would be cool with teaching it, because at the same time I'm still in that mindset of I need to naturalize a lot of what 40K is, so that I can kind of call upon rules in my head as I need them. Because I do want to eventually go to a tournament, but when you play in tournaments, speed of play is huge. You need to be good enough with your knowledge in a tournament setting to be like, oh, what strength's my gun? It's strength 5. I don't even need to look. I don't know if it's Weiss. I know there's a grocery store. I think they have like a food line or something in that shopping center. They have like 2 clothing stores. Like next to each other, like big, like, well, not big, but like I guess discount brand clothing stores that I've never heard of before. Which is weird. Art commissions, yeah. I mean, I can do model painting commissions, but art commissions also on the board. I've been trying to get some merch done for the channel. Yeah, I just gotta find a spot to set up. Like that's the thing. If I can find a quick and easy way to put all my stuff down to record a kill team match, like I wouldn't mind playing against people in the area. That was kind of part of the plan early on. Like I was very much in the mindset of like, oh, if I can just bring like a camera, my equipment, an extension cable, and do like a really easy to do setup for like a casual kill team game, that'd be great, because then I can just go to people's houses locally who want to play. I can go to certain smaller game stores, specifically Born to Game, because Born to Game actually has like a really good spot in the back that could easily be used to record stuff without much interruption. on something. Yeah, man, just let me know. Let me know. Where'd I put my gunmetal? It's polished silver, enchanted steel, broadsword silver. I wonder if those are the only ones I have. Yeah, I might not have purchased the gunmetal. So which one? I think polished silver is not bad, but you want broadsword silver for that darker gunmetal look. That's a hard thing. Battle reports just in general are hard to pull off. Take it from a person who did it for like a year. They're rough, and I still want to go back, but God, they're rough. To get it right, like when I started making my stuff, like there were at least maybe 3 or 4 other channels that all started shortly after or before I started making my battle reports, and like their approach was literally just record the whole thing and then post it. I don't know. On one hand, it could work if it looks good enough. On one hand, but I feel like the community isn't down for watching 3 hours worth of a game that at times has no talking. Like, literally, it's gonna be like hard thought moment. Like, the original reason I bought the microphones the way that I did was because I actually was kind of hoping I could do something like that where, you know, we go through certain points. There is like the voiceover parts where like the person talking about the game is just like doing kind of the narrator approach, but then it cuts in and it's us talking about what we're doing or what we're trying to do. Let me cut contrast a little bit. There we go. I feel like the focus, even though I set it and it feels right at first, it like goes out while I'm painting because it's not auto. I gotta get the other camera over here. I don't want to keep bringing it back and forth, but part of me is like, I think I have to. But yeah, those other channels that started where they were just like, let's record it and just post it. Post it raw. Yeah. I haven't seen them growing. So it's kind of a little scary. But I have those, I have the wireless mics that we use for me to record for info, and like they're good. Those are really good. But like I've listened back to our battle reports, and if I were to post those raw, like if I were to be like, you know what, if I just post them raw, it'll be like super fast. It'll be great. I can just post them. You guys are gonna hate them. You guys are gonna hate them so much. Every single one I've listened to is just us being dead quiet for like 80% of the match. Wait, who'd you give it to? I remember you sold it to like, I think someone I know? I can't remember. Was it Sean? Did you sell it to Sean? Because if you sold it to Sean, I don't know if it went to a good home. It went to a home. I don't know if it went to a good home. Oh, Fringe, yeah. No, definitely good. He loves that stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, John would have hooked it up, listened to it, realized it was like not the best at initial setup, and that he needed to tinker with it to make it like really good. And then he would have been like, nope. And just like threw it in his closet. John is very much a plug it in and then don't make any changes kind of guy. Like he needs that kind of approach where whatever you're about to get him or suggest to him, you have to know that the whole purpose of him being able to use it is just to plug it in and not have to care. I feel like a lot of them are that way. I've suggested audio equipment I use to people on the cast who then buy it and then return it because they don't know how to use it properly. Oh, dude, everyone hates hearing their own voice. You kind of get over it. That's like you just have to not care. I tone it out. Like I've actually gotten to that point where I tone it out, which is not good. I have mistakes in a lot of my videos. That's literally because when I'm editing the stuff over top of the voiceover, I'm not really focusing on the voiceover. I actually have to make it a very big point of at the end of what I think is done for recording, I have to actually just watch it back and focus on listening to what I'm saying to see if maybe, just maybe, I said something that was wrong. Because if I don't, there's a high chance I'm just going to be like, we do it live. And then I get back the, hey, why did you say this when it's actually this? And I'm just like, no! Ah! Elevator music. Dude, it is dangerous. I think a lot of us have ADHD that get into this game because like however this game is designed, it's built for that, right? Like intrinsically it's built for that. I have almost every bespoke kill team, as well as like I'm like 4 armies deep in 40k. I have an AOS army. I'm like every 2 minutes I look into different rule sets for 40k and like AOS games, kind of like Underworlds and stuff. And I always think at first I'm like, that sounds kind of cool, but I'm busy doing all this other stuff. And then like flash to 2 weeks later when I'm building and painting units from that thing, and like I don't know how I got there. I'm just like, wait, what day is it? How did I do this? Oh no. Like, I have these guys explicitly because someone on Reddit was like, hey, you remember that the frickin', what game was it? Combat Arena. That Combat Arena game Barnes & Noble was supposed to put out like a year ago and then didn't because they got like, the shipping got held back or something. It's out now. And like, I immediately, I was just like, boop, here we are. You just gotta pick one. You gotta pick one that you think will feel kind of like it'll hold your interest because of how random it is. The problem is with narrative campaigns, you're gonna be spending a lot of points on gaining like the rest of your team. That's probably the biggest issue, because there's a lot of teams out there where, depending on what you have purchased for use in terms of like units, you're not really gonna use that. You're gonna be like stuck with them for a while because it costs 1 requisition to purchase a new unit. Not only that, but EXP, kind of important. So you want to leave the units in as often as possible when they're not wounded. That way you can just keep growing the XP. So like it kind of does become an issue. Dude, I was almost done. So I only really want to stream normally if I have like painting projects. I have an idea for something we can stream in terms of us playing games on stream, me versus chat, kind of fun sounding. But that being said, I mostly just wanted to paint, so I was like, well, I'm almost done painting all my stuff, so like that means I don't need to keep streaming, which means I can put more effort into making videos. That'll be good. Making videos, making merch, making just stuff. Dude, you gotta know if you're starting with a full roster. That's weird if they let you start with a full roster. I mean, it's down to what the league wants you to do, of course. But I don't know. There's a part of that game where starting with one on-field team, that feels like it needs to happen in narrative. Because you put more emphasis on trying to keep your guys alive rather than being like, oh, I've got like 10 other people. Doesn't matter. I'm not that worried. I'm gonna do a racing stripe. Because everyone knows all good robots have racing stripes. Here's where we get serious. Freehanding a racing stripe. Well, the orbital strike is still related to what you can see. So like you kind of have to play around it as the opponent to the Star Striders, because line of sight is still based on the unit. So if he deleted your leader must have been invisibility somehow, right? Like if you're in conceal on light cover and the person's on vantage, yeah, that kind of sucks. But if you're in conceal on heavy, he can be on vantage. You still don't get hit by an orbital at that situation. Again, I was gonna buy Star Striders. I was gonna put them together, paint them, and do a video on them. But one of my buddies picked them up before me, so I didn't pick them up. He's slowly painting them, and I wouldn't mind doing a video on them if he's done. But don't know when he's gonna be done. So because I know people probably be okay with me just doing a video of being like, let me show you pictures of the unit that I'm talking about, and then we'll do little visual representations with like simple stuff. And like maybe that'll work, but I really want to like limit that from what I do. All right, let's give his head a racing stripe, I think. Problem is the orange pigment is not great at going down. This is where I think the Army Painter Fanatic paint would really help me out. That like one coat application of like smooth and thin paint. So perfect for doing this kind of work. Got confirmation. The thing is, I'm trying to keep my hope, I guess, in check. I've seen a video and pictures of people who ordered like paint from Games Workshop and then they get like not at all paint. Like there's that one thing on Reddit of the guy who ordered like an orange paint or something, like a contrast paint from their website, and he got a Tesseract Vault. Like, I ordered a Mutilated Vortex Beast. I'm really hoping whatever system is happening at their local warehouse is like, yeah, let's actually send them that. Because worst case scenario, I get something that isn't at all what I ordered. Because I need the MVB. I need it so bad. Alright, head stripe done. Shoulder stripes on. We got a little bit more metal to do. I wonder if the second one shipped yet. What we thinking, chat? We thinking it shipped? Or am I gonna get a note that's like, hey, you only get one, which is sad. I want to run 3. I have a list. I have a 2,000 point list that is 3 MVBs, Demon Princes, a couple Exalted Sorcerers on discs on their own, Zangor Enlightens with Shaman Leaders, a bunch of Zangors, I think a Terminator squad with a Terminator Exalted Sorcerer Lord. Like, it's such a weird list, and I think it would work. That's the part I love about it. I think it would actually work. Because Mutilated Vortex Beasts are so god-awfully hard to kill. They're so god-awful to kill, and 3 of them? Like, I realize people are going to be like, oh, well, like, you got to get them to me. Yeah, it's called move 1, I think it's 8 inches, and then hit it with Temporal Surge, and it's in your face, flamethrowering your people down and causing mortal wounds and stuff. I think it's end of move phase, so it wouldn't work for mortals. But at least he's over there, and like next turn, you're gonna need to shoot him while everything else I'm doing on the field is gonna be like looping around and doing things to you. Like I love the idea of it. And then the Demon Princes are just flying around. Oh, also 2 squads, Blue Horrors, 1 Changeling. That way I have people already up front because Blue Horrors are infiltrate, which is nice. No, I am not in England. I am in the US. Thank you. I've accepted cookies to your website 6 times now. Please stop that. Ugh. Game Games Workshop website. Both dispatched. Dude, we're doing it. They are both on their way. Oh my god, I'm so happy. When are they gonna be here? No data to display. Manifested on the first one. I'm gonna do a video on these too, by the way. We're gonna do a video going over my paint jobs for my 3 Mutalith Vortex Beasts. 1 second, phone call. Well, originally the idea was to go Magnus and call it Magnus Walks His Dogs, because it would be Magnus and 3 friggin' Mutalith Vortex Beasts. You start the round with Magnus hiding, and then give him the 2-inch extra movement aura so that all the Mutalith Vortex Beasts move 10 inches. And I know everyone likes Magnus, and like he's really strong for his points value, but Magnus for his points value is still 1 unit. And I'm kind of dumping a quarter of my army's costs into 3 monsters. Kind of want more bodies on the field to screen and be able to do points work. Which is why I think having the Exalted or the Zangor Enlightened with Shamans, which I gotta figure out the total points cost of this, because if I have enough points to field another Enlightened squad, I might do it. I might do it. Because 3 Shamans with 3 Enlightened, I think I would go 2 full squads archers, because then I have 2 precision squads flying around. So if you have leaders that are visibly out, I can just reposition completely and annihilate one of them, because those guys hit hard. I played against a Chaos Space Marine player at my local league, and I had 2 half squads of archers. Turn 1, I killed both of his HQ units in their squads. Just killed them. He had them buried 10 deep in Chosen, and I literally just repositioned my Enlightened, 2 of my small squads with leaders into these positions, and just unleashed arrows into those squads and just went like, they're going for your leader. Killed him immediately. It was so crazy. Yeah, maybe. Well, the visual style for them. What am I looking up? I came here for a reason. What am I looking up? I can't remember now. Back to painting. The main reason I kind of wanted to get them. So my first Mutalith Vortex Beast, which I can go grab, I guess, because it is here. I painted him to look like a night sky, like a dark kind of. It feels like you're looking up at like a galaxy, I guess, of sorts. It's kind of the goal. I'm gonna paint one like a sunrise, and then I think I'm gonna paint one like day, right? Like one's gonna be basically sunrise, sunset. So he'll be oranges and purples, and then the other one's gonna be blue, yellow, most likely. I need to think of his palette a little more. It also seems a little bit like kind of backstabby, I guess, story-wise for me, because like, I mean, that's Norse mythology, which, I mean, Space Wolves are basically just Vikings, and Space Wolves are my arch enemy. So kind of fun. Think about it. Try to clean this up. I have no idea how this spread like this. Gotta get lights and stuff done. All right, let me go grab my I'm actually gonna need to buy a new box for these guys once I get the other two, so I can have them. But Night Sky. Magentas and purples. With blue crystal forms and stuff. So this is the first one. And I gotta try to match the other two conceptually to it, but not with core color scheme. We're still gonna do the glowy green-yellow tendrils, as well as green-yellow light. Maybe. I could easily see the sunrise one having like orangish tendrils. And then having the daytime one having like closer to yellow tendrils and light. But yeah, we got two more of these coming. Which is bonkers. This thing was crazy to put together, crazy to paint. My buddy did the galaxy pattern on his Harlequin transports. It looks really good on those. He bought a stencil that was a solar system. He then primed them black and then went over with white primer on top of that in the areas he wanted the galaxy with the stencil, and then he used contrast paints, like low opacity contrast paints, to make it look like a galaxy, and it looked really good. Came out really well. We talked through how he was going to do it, and then he was just like, alright, I got it. Just boom, done. They look so good next to each other. Trying to get him to go to events. He's like, I don't really want to go to events. I just want to play like kind of locally with like friend group, because he doesn't really want to deal with other people. He's kind of misanthropic like me. I try to fight it as hard as humanly possible, but So yeah, he's star print. One of them is going to be purples and orange. For that one's going to be rough. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do that one. Because I think the orange needs to be the undercolor, and then I need to go purple for like top stuff. The problem is, how do I want to do it? Because I don't think I want to do fluorescence. Because fluorescence is going to be way too bright. And I need them to kind of feel similar, which means I'm going to need to pick an orange that's kind of close to regular, which I think is going to be Pyrrol. I think Pyrrol orange is going to be best to go with as a primary, and then I do the purple over top of that. Which is going to be weird, because I think both of them are low opacity, so I might need to actually test something. Color wheel. Because if I'm starting with orange, I could technically get a really light blue, I think. And that should pull it to purple. Whereas if I start with purple, it's going to be like weird, I think. We got a lot of little buttons to do. Yeah, I definitely need to try to do a video on painting those. I know the painting videos don't do well, but I've got a few of them cooking right now. I've got the underlight one. Hearthkin, they're fun in general, but I imagine that they're like not going to be great. Do you know what the Spec Ops is going to be? Do you know if it's going to be is it going to be like, how do I put this? Is it going to be like oh, you can play close quarters or open world and maybe beta decima? Are they going to be like splintering a lot of it together, or is it just like open world only? Because the issue that I think that the Hearthkin have is that their TAC ops that they have access to are very much, I feel like, in line with how open world is. Like, it's really good for open world stuff, but like they're very limited when it comes to close quarters, which is funny since they were released from close quarters. I don't know who designed their TAC op mission of needing to like take over terrain points that have vantage points. Like, that's just weird to me. Team-wise, though, I think they're fun if you like ranged. If you like melee, if you want to do like a blend, they're probably not fun. Like, they are a really good range team. And most of the things they have access to literally only exist for you to kind of screw over your opponent. Which, like, if you're into that... Okay. Well, Hearthkin are good. They can be good. The trick about figuring out whether you think something will be fun for Spec Ops is always, are people complaining about my video? You always want to look at the team's Spec Ops specific things, because Spec Ops specific stuff make them, that's what I think makes them cool. Are you guys going to be getting rare equipment at some point? Do you have like a plan for when the rare equipment happens? Or is it just going to be like core stuff? Because you're going to be looking at requisitions, strategic assets, battle honors. I'm okay with them. I just think they need a better way for people to get them. Dude, because like I said in the video, when I was getting back in, it was at the end of 9th. It was just before Arcs of Omen. It was Nephilim, right? Nephilim as a book was what you needed to play competitive games at the local league. I think among the local league, 3 of like 10 people had that book, and no one else could get them. I was up editing a video late at night. It was 2 in the morning when I got the Games Workshop notification that that book came into its release again. So I ordered one. By the time I had finished ordering it and was verified that I had ordered it, it had sold out. You should not lock key necessary rules behind a physical thing that not everyone can get their hands on. That is not a good way to approach. They need another option. They need something else. So you got to look at your Spec Ops stuff, though. Hearthkin Salvagers, Requisition. Purchase requisition after a game in which a friendly Hearthkin Salvager operative was incapacitated by an enemy operative. That friendly operative is harboring a grudge against the enemy operative's faction. Each time this friendly operative fights in combat or makes a shooting attack against an enemy operative with that faction keyword, that enemy operative has 1 additional grudge. That's actually really cool. That's actually hilarious. Oh, it only lasts for 3? Okay, so it lasts for 3. They do. But my local store has a shelf for books, but like they sell out immediately. And the big problem was that if I go into that store, there's boxes on the floor in the 40K section filled with books that go back to 5th edition that they just never sold. It's something that needs to be rectified. There needs to be a change. Grudges, I believe, do stack with the Hearthkin. The more grudge tokens on a unit, the more dice you can change. Let me just double check that. Each time a friendly Hearthkin Salvager operative fights in combat or makes a shooting attack against an enemy operative and roll attack dice step at that combat, for each grudge token that enemy operative has, you can retain 1 of your successful normal hits as a crit. So the problem is, even though this team has full range, it's a team that plays from 6 inches because you get the +1 to ballistic skill, I believe, for the ploy from 6 inches. I think that's right? Yeah. Proximate firepower. You're playing from 6 inches. So the whole point is to cover someone in grudge tokens, run a guy up who has a good weapon to within 6 inches of the opponent, unload, and just crit out the ass. Just crit. All crits. Doesn't matter. Like, whoever you're playing, they could have 3+ saves. They still need 6s. Doesn't matter. Like, you're doing work. That's the whole play with them. So Grudge is really good. They have some cool requisitions. Return to the Ancestors. Ranks operative. For example, the operative had an ace rank, it would be 3 RP. That's kind of for late game. Petition the guild. Purchase requisition before a game. If your kill team is currently conducting a spec op, randomly determine 1 recon or security tac op until that spec op ends. Keep a tally of victory points you score from that tac op. You add the 5th mark to the tally. You can add 1. Oh, when you add your 5th mark, you can add 1 item of rare equipment to your stash. So petition the guild sounds like if you're about to finish your requisition, you activate it, and then you have to tally. If you add the 5th mark to your tally, you can. This is a weird one, but it sounds like you'll be able to get 2 rare equipments if you want. Strategic assets. When your base of operation has a strategic asset, double the qualities of Hearthkin salvagers equipment in your stash. Double the quantities. That's actually not bad. Supply hold. When your base has double the quantities. So, oh, that's actually cool. So when you supply hold, if you do a supply hold and then requisition equipment, you'll have double of whatever you put in. So you don't need to buy as much because you'll get like way more, which is cool. Enhanced pan spectral scan is in the select drop zone step after rolling off to determine who decides attack or defender. You can re-roll your dice. That's kind of useless. Most people just pick the side they want unless the board is different. Like if you're going to be making asymmetrical boards, that might be good. But if you're making symmetrical boards, that's useless. Evacuation or excavation machinery. At the end of the scouting step, if you are a defender selected the fortify option, you can move 1 terrain feature within 3 inches of the drop zone that does not include any parts with the heavy trait up to 3 inches. That's kind of nuts. Not great in close quarters. Again, they were released in close quarters. Excavation machinery, garbage for close quarters. Enhanced pan spectral scanner, only kind of good in narrative close quarters. This guy's just about done. Mostly the light details, I think, at this point, and then I'll be happy with them. Because I don't want to do too much. Light details, wire. Move this door. I think we'll just do lights at this point. His lights, I want to be magenta, maybe? Yeah, I think magenta's good. Blue? My boy blue? I think his eye lens will be magenta. Some of the things on his back will be magenta. And then we'll have to do orange-yellow for the lights. I gotta get more games in, man. I feel like I have so many game systems under my belt now from the Games Workshop line. And like, I've been to a lot of the Discords for the local scenes to be like, I will play games this weekend for any of these if anyone wants. And then I just don't hear anything. And then like a day later, someone will bring up like, hey, I want to play 40K, and it's like, because they won't directly message me. I wonder if it's like a nerd thing, right? Like to not message the person who's like, hey, do you want to play? Because then I won't get any messages, but then there will be someone who will ask for a game for a specific thing that I've listed without actually messaging me. So like I don't know that they wanted that, therefore I couldn't plan for it. Weird. Must be careful with fluorescent paints. No, I don't think so. Let me take a look. Oh god. There we go. I think someone's asked me this before. Was it you? Were you in here asking me this? No. So I used to go to college in Baltimore. Frederick is literally the opposite side of Baltimore from me. I think I'm a little bit further away from Baltimore than Frederick. No. So you're about to have a tournament, I think, happen a bit east of you. I don't know. It'll probably be about, I think you'd literally be the same distance from that tournament as I am, honestly. What the is, it's towers and tables. Tables and towers. Here we are. Oh no, you're much closer to tables and towers than I am. Literally next weekend, if you wanted to go check it out. I believe tables and towers, which is on Route 140 from you, past New Windsor. That's where the tournament's going to be. Where the guy that hosts War Games Live is going to be as well. You check out some games there. I think it's gonna be 40K specifically though, so I don't know if you're gonna want to check it out. Yeah, they're doing a big tournament that day. I don't know if you're gonna have to buy a ticket to go in and spectate. It's actually it's hosted by a guy that works out of the Born to Game stores that are near here. It's something he's been trying to build up over time, the battle to end Alzheimer's. And this year it is officially recognized as a grand tournament, I believe. Or at least I think it's a GT or maybe a Rogue Trader. Can't remember. Yeah, our kill team events are not all over the place. There's a few. I know there's one that was in Washington. Did you do the one in Washington not that long ago? I think it was like last year. There was a big one in Washington. Well, it's not in DC. It's in the DC district, but it was being held at a manor. They actually posted pictures of where the event was being held, and it's in it was in an estate, right? Like it was this big freaking house. It was really crazy looking. Oh yeah, Nova's a big one. Was it? I think it was Nova. They were doing something around the time of another tournament for Kill Team. I just can't remember what it was called. I think me and my buddy were looking into it because I was debating going, but like the timing was just bad. Ocean City I keep hearing about stuff from. But yeah, that's a bit far. Like, those are the situations where I'm gonna have to plan to like go out and spend like a weekend or something. But like, I'll need reason to do it, which will most likely consist, I don't want to do orange color, I'm gonna do yellow. Which will most likely consist of me like needing to go for a bigger event. The hope is that at least locally, if I know I'm going to the bigger event, because a lot of people locally actually do play Kill Team. They just don't play it often, because in the online function of our little group, most people are just like, I'm looking for a 40k game, because they're getting ready for tournaments. So like, everyone just kind of piles in on 40k. But like a lot of them, like I know the Death Guard player, the kid that I play against occasionally, or I've played against at least once. I kind of want to play against him again. He plays Hand of the Archon for Kill Team. He loves them. There's a guy who he has something for Kill Team. He does want to play it. I watched a guy buy a bunch of the freaking Felgor for Kill Team. Although he might be using them as stand-ins for something. At the 5v5 tournament, there was a guy playing World Eaters, and he used the Felgor as jackals. It's kind of cool looking. The thing is, I got back into playing because I knew there was a place nearby, or at least I remembered there was a place literally like 2 minutes from my house that was getting huge for playing games. And then literally I got back into it, I got some stuff together, and I was like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna play. And so I drove to the place only to find out that it wasn't there anymore. And then it took me a while to figure out where they went. They did actually end up going somewhere, but apparently that, like, those are the people who, the one guy from my local group, he went to one of their games. That was the tournament he went to where they were kind of like assholes. And it was a little, it felt bad finding out about this. Cause like I did really like going to this place back in the day. I'm thinking of doing something for skirmish game nights. Not at like, I don't know if I can do one of the stores like Hobby or anything like that. I don't know if I can pull that off. But there is a store near me. The question is whether or not I think it's okay to do it there, because that store kind of fell off. The original owner quit, or I guess retired rather would be the right word. And in his retirement, he kind of set stuff up for someone else to take over. And the new person that took over does not care about tabletop strategy games. He used to run a night like once a month where you would just go and you would play games, and it was great. That's actually where I started to learn 40k back in third. It was a whole thing. Ooh, someone's posting some good Chaos Knights in the Discord. That's a beautiful green. It's so green. So good looking. Let me try to get some silver on this light. And I think we'll be done. This guy specifically. We got a good bit of time left. We can start the second one. I kind of want to try to, because like I feel like I could start an Underworlds league potentially locally. I don't know the interest though. To run Underworlds rivals, and maybe day one I'll be like, rivals, play the team deck for the team you bring, and then we'll talk it out there to see what we want to do with it, to like keep it kind of open for people to want to play. Cause dude, deck building in that game gets so sweaty. I've seen some things. And not everyone owns all the decks, so like you kind of got to factor that in. The local store did say that they would be open to someone else running the events. Like, that was one of their things. They were like, yeah, I mean, you could do it. I was like, oh, maybe. I need to get into an actual conversation with them about like what it would take to do it, what would be the best times to try to do it, making up like a flyer for them to have posted in their storefront to be able to contact me or join this Discord potentially. To be like, yeah, let's meet up or something, or even just start a new Discord for it. I don't know. I want to highlight this medal. I've never liked the standard silvers. The standard silvers always feel like underwhelming. And don't feel sorry for spamming chat. You're not actually spamming chat. I mean, if spamming chat is literally copy pasting the same stuff over and over and over again. We're actually having a conversation here. Highlight it with actual metallic. It'll smooth it out a little bit on some areas. Could also serve as a good way for me to like maybe establish a night at one of these local stores. It's got to be a small local store. I don't want to do this at a Warhammer store, because a Warhammer store is a place of business, and there's been a lot of like reports coming out of like Europe and other countries where it sounds like Games Workshop stores are trying to move away from playing in the store. They're trying to make it so that like you buy the stuff there, but you don't stay there to play, because I guess some stores have issues with certain customers being like absolute assholes. What's up, Ike? No, yeah, because I had no idea how many cards there were for Underworlds until I found a website. I found this website meant for deck building that has all the cards scanned from every season, every box, every team, every release that you can play. Oh my god, there's so many cards. I did not expect finding that out. Like, just out of nowhere, they were like, oh, by the way, this is the game. I was like, whoa. This is too much. Too much stuff. Alright, now we try to do the metal on that. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's do a little bit of silver on the end of that thing. pick a wire color. Here. Good. Wait, which upsetting? The deck building side of it? I will say, like, one of the, I know this is like a dream goal for the channel that is like beyond pie in the sky, I guess. Like, I highly doubt it'll ever happen. But if the channel got big enough that it was able to fund me to purchase a place to host games and potentially tournaments, so that I could record there while like having it all be in like a controlled environment as like its own separate thing, because that's the local place that I used to go to back in the day was kind of perfect. It was in sort of like a warehouse setup, just a big open room that had just tons of tables to play games on, and I feel like in the local area that could be an amazing thing to have again. Probably wouldn't be lucrative, but giving people a place to go to meet up for games is like huge. And the fact that the one local store to me like stopped kind of doing that for anything but Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon is like, man. They kind of do a D&D night, but like they don't really tell people about it all that much, because I guess there's people that go to it that are a little bit weird. Back out. Oh, yeah. Not a bad place to buy stuff, because they did, to try to push more sales, they did like start this thing that basically for X amount of dollars you purchase of stuff, you get like an in-store gift card towards more stuff. And I have abused the hell out of that for 40K. Like getting my 1,000 Suns together, getting my Knights together. Oh, so much savings. 1 second. do think we need a good local place. Because I think right now, if you want to play D&D, he runs it, they don't push it, but then I think the local library actually does D&D night once a week. So I think they have most of the D&D books in the library itself. Alright. We should probably base these guys at some point with the right colors. I don't know what colors I want to use for their basing, though. Still not sure about that. I kind of want it to be weird, right? But maybe not. Maybe we stick with something basic. Do like a runic gray base. Keep it simple. I already put the texture paste down. I just gotta get the color on it. Game stores are hard though. I cannot imagine a game store is like a healthy place to work if you don't want to be like stressed at a job. Cause like I feel like most game stores probably go online and they see like all the other game stores that are just like, hey, we're closing down. It was a great 5 years. Thanks to everyone that came. And it's like, oh no. Because then they look at like their business and they're like, man, there's some months that feel like no one buys anything. Like game stores and comic book stores. Oh my god. I cannot imagine that it's like the easiest thing to do. There's been a lot of changes with how comic book stores operate to try to better their survival rate from the publishing companies. There's a whole system that was put into place where you could return unsold comics for credit towards new comics. That way you're not getting completely screwed over every time there's things to order. But like then you hear about other practices that some of the distributors put into place. Like if you want special edition covers from this one artist that everyone wants, you have to buy like 20 of the non-special edition books that nobody wants because like the story isn't that interesting to those people. But like they want the artist one because they want to go to a convention and get that artist to sign that cover because it's a big artist. And it's like, oh, they do some skeevy stuff. What up, Arturo? What you doing? Let me get the base on the anvil done. No, yeah, dude, I could easily see that. You live or die by whether or not the popular communities are wanting to purchase things. Like, that's how these stores live or die. Like, if, for a lot of stores, if Magic the Gathering or Pokemon didn't have as much of a massive resurgence as they had, I can't imagine any of these stores would still exist today. Like, the one store near me, the guy always jokes about it, but he's always like, Magic the Gathering is what keeps the lights on. Like, the local community, because it's like this weird college community, and there's people who exclusively, I guess, make purchases based on influencer interest on YouTube. So when you got people like all over YouTube talking about how expensive certain Magic cards are in the open markets, that only serves to increase that cost, because now it's reasserted interest from the public community in like, oh wow, I could make $100,000 if I have the right Magic the Gathering card / Pokemon card. I guess I'll start purchasing to make this a collection-based investment. So like, I've been in that store when those people are in the store, and it is a weird conversation where they're just like, what pack should I buy for the best potential turnaround on investment? And it's like, what is happening here? Your goal seems weird, sir. Get a little white. No, yeah, comics have gone up in price. It's kind of changed the format of where you go to purchase them. Most people are now more leaning into the online approach to like just webcomics and stuff, which seems good at first, but then you realize that that person has just kind of offloaded costs onto a blend of merch. It's a blend of merch and it's a blend of ads, usually. Sometimes they do Kickstarters. I think that was something that Penny Arcade did, was they used to run ads for the most part, but then they decided that if the general public interest in their comic could directly convert to income for them, then they could just not sign for ad campaigns or anything. That's kind of what they did. I remember, I think I was around for that year where they were like, hey everyone, we have an idea. If enough of you are willing to pay for our content, we can just do that. Yeah, they try to improve things, but like, I don't know. My big issue with it is, at least from the main company perspectives, there's even like among the comics that are big, right? Like the big titles that sell really well, the artists, writers, and everyone involved tend not to be the ones that make the money off of it. There was this whole write-up that Sean Gordon Murphy did about people, a lot of the way the industry works. He's considered like a superstar in the industry within his own like little section for art. So like, he makes a decent living from it. He sells his pieces for a good bit of money every year that he makes from the comic and all that. And it's this like viable system for him of living that's given him like a decent-ish life. But like, he knows artists on titles that sell insanely well who are living on food stamps because of how little they're given in money, because the company publishing it takes like almost all of it. Because that's kind of the way it works now. The split for the person creating the thing and then the people who own the IP is just like so drastically one-sided. I do like Runic Gray for these bases. It's nice. See the crackling? Let me focus up for you guys. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Golden crackle paste. So nice looking. Such a good basing paste. Once you know how to use it. It was really hard to get used to. There was a year where my friends and I were into... Where's my matte black? We were really into Magic the Gathering, specifically drafting. There it is. And what we did, or what they did rather specifically, was they would go in, they would buy a whole ass box of cards, they would draft with that whole ass box of cards. When they were done, they would organize the cards and bring them back into the store and sell them to the store. For store credit, specifically. They would then, and they always, like, off of every box they purchased, they made profit. Like, whatever the initial, I think it's what is it? It's like 50 bucks, 70 bucks? I can't remember what a booster box is in cost. I remember it was like decent. But they would purchase the first one, and then they would just bring that all back in, trade in for store credit, make more than the box costs, and then just get a new box with it. They did that like 4 times before the store was like, we have to put a hold on this. We can't keep just buying it from you without selling the cards. You're tearing through our stock. Beautiful little black ring, gives it some gives the focus on the base to the actual texture. Because weirdly, that was kind of how it was for Magic the Gathering. It was like, for a while there, almost any box you purchased would most likely have one card that would give you the amount of the box back, on average. You might have losses, but in the long run, because of how that weird marketplace was, you were almost guaranteed to have more than the cost of a booster box in a booster box. The trick was selling it. That was always the problem. You could have it, but you needed to find someone to buy it. It's what I think a lot of the weird nerd investment bros don't seem to get when they're going into stores like this and they're like, what's my best return on investment? Like, well, whatever you purchase might have X amount of dollar amount attached to it, but until those dollars are in your hand, that's not the actual value. I might try to varnish whatever I get done today before heading out. Hell yeah. We're going to work on the Navigator for a little bit, because I got some time. I like the Navigator model. Look at that. Look at how cool that is. Let me make some adjustments here. Up brightness maybe a little bit. Get that saturation. Such a cool model. So pimped out too. Just got the pimp cane. Like, look at this hat. What is up with that? Hat is ridiculous. They need these models in the actual like tabletop. They just need to be like, hey, check out this add a Navigator to your squad as like a squad lead or something. Just weird stuff. Let me check my varnish box. Just because you guys didn't get to see me actually work on these. Here. The purple you see there, that's the blacklight reactive as well as the green. Of course, we did the little base thing where we drew it in with white ink. Need to hit this with a little more paint on the base. I like this model. This one's really cool. And then, of course, we finished these guys on stream. Little demon dudes. They're cool. I like them. I'm already kind of eyeballing a couple other teams for Underworlds, and I'm like, maybe I'll play those. I'm trying so hard to hold off, though. We have Kroot Farstrider, or Kroot Farstalkers? Farstriders? Farstalkers. Kroot Farstalkers to paint. We have to do that. We have, let me get the basing on this guy done. We have Orc Commandos. We have, what else we got? Vet Guard. And then, of course, on the way, I have my 2 Mutalith Vortex Beasts. We have a Chariot that I need to paint. I might eventually buy Screamers. And as well as some other Flamers. I need a full squad of Flamers. I did the math. I am really close to a completed Demon Army at this point. It's not going to be a strong one, but it's one of those ones where I could just play it and see how it feels. Because they have some weird, fun stuff. I think it's Canoptic court that creates the area, right? That they're able to do. Is it Canoptic or is it Hypercrypt? One of them creates an area that's considered like part of their sort of territory that allows them to do special things. And that's basically just demons. Like day one, that's just demons. They get like all kinds of weird benefits for having an area of the map controlled by them. Kind of cool. All right. So we gotta work up some of the layered purples. I might maybe use this non-purple purple, you know, Warlock purple, when you don't want a purple. But we do need to layer some Gene Stealer purple onto them to give some more defined areas. We kind of did a dry brush run on a lot of these guys to prepare them for stream, so I didn't have to do all that on stream. So we can kind of work up from the dry brush layer. A little bit layer paint. I also want to do a combat arena battle report for you guys. I just want to do some battle reports, give people some visuals on some games that might be fun to play. They might not do the best, but at least they're there for people to take a look, see how they run. Because the problem is right now you can't purchase combat arena like at all. Barnes and Noble got what they got, sold it, and then hasn't gotten anything new in since. So technically this is a rarity. It was also probably one of the cheapest ways to get your hands on a Black Fortress team, which is kind of wild to think about. Like apparently Black Fortress models were selling like really well online since you just couldn't get them. I wonder if that's what happened. People found out that Combat Arena dropped and we're just like, let's buy it up for all the Black Fortress models and then just sell the models on eBay. Because these really are some of the coolest push fit, like 40K models that you can use for other things. I know people have told me that they use Servo Pope. This guy, they use him in like the Imperial Guard army because he just looks really cool. And as far as I can tell, like, how do you... Black Fortress sounds interesting, but I feel like I never see it in storefronts. Is it just completely sold out? Let me check. Games Workshop. Shop. Other games. Blackstone Fortress. Yeah. The omnibus. That's all you have access to. Which I guess is the rules. And that's even temporarily out of stock. with the bumper editions of stories. Oh no, this is just stories and novels. It doesn't exist anymore. So this is kind of like a reprint for Blackstone Fortress that was meant for not Blackstone Fortress. I guess that's probably why people bought it out, because you're not getting these models any other way. Maybe if I paint them well enough, and then I do the battle report going over the combat arena game. Maybe I sell them. Make some monies. Money. Put food on table. I'm probably gonna have to pin wash Druachi or something onto this. Hell yeah, it's the Navigator. Navigator does look really cool. I like the model. Trying to get some layering going. Has the music been out for a while? You guys gotta tell me these things. Headphones are currently off. I want to get rid of that texture paste on the bottom there. This is the free for use content creator Jazz on YouTube. Welcome to the Jazz while live streaming meta. Smooth jazz. I eventually just need to take the time to fully download all this jazz music. So I don't have to keep relying on loading it up in the background and hoping it doesn't just stop. I'm not convinced that current day jazz musicians aren't just noise marines looking to infest your brain. I'm trying to remember. There's not a noise marine sax player, is there? Like, that's a conversion that exists in my head. Because part of me wants to, like, have that and then put inside of it a small microchip with a speaker that just plays Epic Sax Man. Maybe make it so it can recharge somehow, so it, like, always has power. Just playing a game. Freaking Epic Sax Man hits. I think there's one of those groups that does like model paints and conversions and stuff and tries to like sell cool things for miniature games. I think one of them has a Space Marine that has a saxophone. They just call him Epic Sax Marine. And they kept putting out shorts showing off things they were doing where it was Epic Sax Marine in the background. Baseline layer purple, done. Now, we go into it with a layer of non-purple purple, aka Warlock purple. Warlock purple. It's so good. This is basically Emperor's Children pink. Just slightly darker. I'm happy. Like, there was a day where I kept reading Warlock Purple, and I kept thinking to myself, that's not purple, so I'm never going to use it on my purples. And then one day, I was like, you know what? Let's see how that works with purple. And if you do it right, if you highlight it over the purple just right, it actually does look really cool. Logan, this is golden texture paint. Get the focus going for you guys. See how that works? It's not purple, but it looks like a nice highlight to purple. Yeah, it's golden texture paste. Boop. Or crackle paste. You have to pre-prime the surface is something I've discovered with it. You have to make sure the surface is primed. If you have any brush-on primer, that usually helps for basing. Or you can just, you know, apply it after you get your unit already on the base. Know that it needs primer, or else it won't stick. That's a key thing. I have seen some cool things recently, though. There's been people who's been posting videos on YouTube showing off fun texture pastes that are meant for other things than miniature gaming. Like, there was one that was like a lava texture that was really cool. Sounds almost threatening, Diver. What? You still on? Yeah, it's 1:43. I still got like an hour before I want to head out. And later this week, like closer to the weekend, I don't know if we're gonna do a Thursday or Friday. Oh, Jesus, dude. Click that. There we go. But yeah, golden paste, which, here's the thing. I use golden for all my texture. If I do sand, coarse pumice gel, it's pretty solid. It's cheap for what it is. And then crackle paste, of course, for the crackles. It comes white. And you can actually mix it with pigment. So you can pre-mix your crackle paste with pigment to give it a specific color. I usually just put it on white because with the contrast paints and everything, you just hit it with a contrast paint after the fact. And it just pulls into the shadows. It's nice. It's nice. No. Did your time move? Was there daylight savings time recently? What's happening? It's 1:45 here, and I always go till like 3. I feel like I'm being gaslit by my chat. And I think last Monday I went super long. I think I went to like 4 or 5. Because we were trying to finish some stuff. I do really love this approach to purple highlights, doing this like pink magenta. A new favorite thing. It makes it almost look like like a foil. Like weird. It's 100% a word. It was a word actually made by, in a play. It's actually the title of a play, technically. The play was called Gaslight, and it's about a guy who tries to convince his wife she's crazy by adjusting the levels. And I see what you're doing there, by the way, but this throws me into my ADHD tangents. So I was looking it up. Words are fun. Figuring out how words came into being, kind of fun. Yeah, it's based on a play. Now everyone uses it. It's like misanthrope. Misanthrope's a pretty common word in my existence for like descriptors and definitions. And that was made by an author. Like word forging, which is kind of cool. That's fine. I've always viewed this concept of live stream painting as sort of a Bob Rossian thing. Of just like, you can watch, I'll talk about what we're doing a little bit, and I'll try to get it done. And if you're doing other things, go for it. Like, I'll kick on Bob Ross over on Twitch when I'm trying to get projects done. Just let it run in the background. Someone talking to me about happy little trees while I'm focusing on busy work. It's great. Might try to pin wash the Druchii onto this before we move on to the next components. Behold. Pink highlighted purple. Come on, focus. There we go. Which one? Are we talking about the dogs or did they do a new one? I have not been on Warcom today. Ooh, here we go. Wait, are the Scorpions getting released separate now? Yeah, I guess the Scorpions are coming out in their own box now. It's the release because their Space Marines are getting stuff. There are people who ask for Kroot. I know there's at least one person local to me who has been pre-collecting a Kroot army without the assumption that they would be getting Kroot. And now they're getting it. And he's like, sweet. He's pretty cool looking. I mean, end of the day. Black Fortress Kroot, baby. With his nice jacket. Look at that. Can't wait to paint that. And I do think, I kind of like that the Tau is the offbeat 40k. Let me get the pin wash brush that I want to use. And Jirachi purple. Or Drakenshade. We'll go Drakenshade. We're going to try this. Because the Tau themselves are... I mean, they're the weeb team, right? Like, every time I see them, I hear the theme to Gundam Wing playing in my head. In washing. Well, that's why people like them. I mean, they're kind of like not as unserious orcs or something. Like, they're fun. The new models actually look good. I love the ones on the backs of the brutes. Oh my god, that looks so cool. Just to have like riders on the back of giant Crudoxes. But like the Tau themselves, they're the weebs, and the Kroot are for the people who love the idea of like old school like witch hunters with like muskets and like dogs and stuff. Like that's what the Kroot represent right now, because that doesn't really exist in the Grimdark for a lot of people, but now like there's that access to it that people just have. I think it's great. Rock and shade on it. Vespids might look cool. I think Vespids, hopefully, because with how models have been changing visually for more dynamic approaches and stuff, and just the general detail we're getting with like a lot of the newer models, I think Vespids could hopefully look really good. Question though, would you want just straight normal Vespids, right? Like just a straight up model Vespid, you know, nothing too crazy. It can be a good dynamic pose, and then you just paint everything on it. Or, with the advent of Games Workshop trying out clear plastic, kind of bringing it back to where they were in the old days of Necron. Would you want Vespids with clear wings that you could basically stain with shaders or contrast paints? Might keep the Draken shade out for this guy. I know everyone kind of creams over Null and Oil. In my opinion, Drakkenshade, top tier. It's basically just blue Nuln. Dark blue Nuln. It provides a lot more depth to the shadows than Null and Oil does. Since it does kind of the same thing, it flows in a very similar fashion. But there's just a hint of tone in it. It's kind of what you want. You don't want everything to just be pure black or pure white. That's always been kind of the approach, although I did that with this guy. Hopefully some of the watered down element of it makes it at least palatable to look at, because like pure white and any kind of model sense, usually weird. I'm slowly trying to wean people at my local store off of Null and Oil, because everyone's like, yeah, I cover it in whatever color I want, and then I hit it with Null and Oil, and I'm like, try Drakkenshade. Similar effect. Let's do plate metal on his pack as a starter. And then let's Drakkenshade it. Probably not be applying this with this brush. This is a good pin brush slash liner. I need to apply it with one of my layer brushes for a little bit better coverage. I don't think they're going to utilize clear plastic. They did it for like the one Ghost squad that they made where they were like, check this out, we can do clear plastic. I don't think they're going to keep doing it. I don't know why they went back. I mean, I guess I kind of know why. Because the Necron was clear plastic, but it was green. So it sort of like forced everyone into a specific direction. with how their Necrons would look and feel. I think eventually they made it so that you could like pick and choose whether you wanted solid or clear. And then they eventually were just like, yeah, we're not doing clear anymore. All these people were coming out with these amazing looking Necrons with like orange energy and stuff, and people were like, oh, it's so cool looking. But I do think if you release clear plastic and you put out like in the box, you put out something like, hey, check this out. Clear plastic plus contrast equals whatever color you humanly want. Go. Simultaneously, you can just put it on, prime it. I guess you have to design the model around the clear plastic though, right? Because if you have to put the clear plastic on right away, then you can't really spray prime something and it gets obnoxious. You need to give people the option to be like, let me leave this off until the end. Which I think you could do with wings, right? That shouldn't be that hard with wings. Basic metallic backpack. I think I'll grab my bright gold. Actually, let's grab greedy gold. Greedy gold is a little bit more red. And we'll start doing the lining on the armor. Well, yeah, but I mean, with the Vespids, you would ship out one sprue that's clear. Alongside like a solid plastic, which is like the more regular Vespid components and stuff. I think it could work visually. I think it could be good. Just out here navigating. Go back to the metals for some of these components. Pipe wraps. Which one's the body cam game? So which one are we talking about? Are we talking about the police body cam game? The one that's trying to be hyper realistic? Or are we talking about like the found footage style games? Like Outlast and stuff.
Poggers.
Cause yeah, it's a perspective, which is actually pretty cool. Cause it does sort of pull people into the game a little more, I think, than just like a general first person or third person perspective. Probably why it works so well for something like Outlast. It makes you feel like that's you, that's your character. The police body cam game. Okay. I kind of like the approach because it does make it feel like you're sort of pulling people in to what's going on the screen, right? Like you're oh god, that is dry. You're giving like a sense of it being more, I guess, like what's the term? What's the wording? It's adding a layer of realism without needing to increase the visual quality, right? Which is cool. Like, you kind of want to do that. You want to pull people into the game they're playing to make it feel like more close, I guess, to kind of what they're experiencing as like a possible reality, like kind of breaking that border down. But then you have things like the Uncanny Valley where if you make something like that super realistic, it throws people off and makes them feel uncomfortable. But if you hide any visual flaws behind the concept of something else, because like we've all seen like body cam footage and like night vision goggles and stuff, and you're staring at reality through it, but because it's being like a separate type of render, it doesn't feel completely like reality, but it's like that weird thing of just like, oh, this looks really real, even though it's like nowhere near it. Because that was the thing. over on the gaming channel I work for, we talked about that game, and the way they approached talking about it was like, hey man, this game looks super realistic, and I'm watching it and I'm like, no, it doesn't look realistic, but what it represents, like the visual aesthetic it's trying to represent, reinforces a state of realism without needing to be real, like needing to be realistic visually, which that actually really works. That's a pretty good way to go about doing that. I tried to read that, Diver, but I'm struggling. I thought you said you were doing homework, so maybe this is that. Alkins. I'm guessing aliens. Was that a mistype? Full structures of Alkins, because I need to find isomers, and all of them are. So I have to make sure I am correct. I'm not gonna lie, YouTube putting this little heart symbol where they did is actually omega tier annoying, because it actually covers up text. Like, they needed to put it up top if they're gonna make it scroll from the bottom. I know they put it there to try to make you guys see it and interact with it, but like, Jesus. When I'm trying to read chat and it's like, it looks like broken English, but only because the heart's blocking the rest of the words. Goddamn. Bet, man. Math do be hard sometimes. Chemistry and everything. It feels weird to think that back when I was in high school and I had to like learn all of the chemistry and everything for class, like how much effort I put into making sure I knew it all. And literally right now, if you were to be like, hey, this thing that you aced on a test like years ago, what does it mean? I would look you dead in the eyes and go, I have no idea. I have no clue. Like, on the honor roll, did really well in classes. Could not now recite a single thing to you that I learned. I feel like, well, it's been a tool in games for a while. Not like hyper-realism, but like games that try to utilize a layer of realistic effect to create a feeling of hyper-realism. It's been used before. I know Call of Duty used it occasionally. They had levels in Call of Duty that were like, you're the gunner on a gunboat ship thing, and here's your night vision thermal scan. And everyone is always like, man, that looks so real. And it's like, it's representing something that doesn't look real, like when you see it. Like it's something from reality, but if you separate that and just think of it in those terms, it actually doesn't look that real. But they'll probably do it more. Especially with how, like, a lot of like Unreal and stuff is like leaning towards now, in terms of like how kind of easy it is to get access to like high quality visuals and stuff. I feel like a lot of people are just gonna buy like real world scans of things and turn them into video games. So that's really what it is, just getting a really high-res scan of a texture. And now with like 3D scanning of objects being as good as it is, we could just get to a point where like that's that. Drock and shade most of that. What am I missing? Let's do the Drock and shade and then we'll do the pipes. Making a whole game like it, the whole police body cam thing, that's kind of like the limit, right? Like we've hit the limit of how you can use that like within a game as like a main element. Like that's kind of works, right? Like it's making it the core of the game seem to work. But I guess with anything else, making it, it probably doesn't fit, right? Because technically, like we could say the same thing about like first person, right? First person games, cameras, stuff like that. We're overusing first person. It's like, no, it's not. No, we're not. It's just a way to play. Right, and we've all accepted it as one of the methods and standards that will be used in video games kind of going forward. And we're cool with it. Whereas that camera trick, yeah, because it's technically like, it's a smaller element that we could view as overused, I guess. Kind of like HD2D, the stuff with Octopath Traveler and what that company has done for the remakes and remasters they've worked on, where it's basically like that semi-3D pixel animation. That feels like, even though it's like one company really doing it, that actually does feel already to me kind of like overdone. It's like weird. I don't know. It's like I saw it for like the third time in a different game, and I'm like, all right, but what else do you got? There's something else you can do with this? Have we found the limit? Draken Shade looks so good. We'll hit Draken Shade up and wash in this edge right here. Oh yeah. And I mean, it's fine. It's not like, oh, you're covering up how bad your game looks. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just a good creative way to overcome a conceptual shortcoming within the medium, right? Like, it's fine. There's no reason to view it as bad. It's a good answer, I think. Good answer, good answer. Alright, do I want to make, what color do we want to make the little wires? Do we go red? I feel like we already kind of went red. Where's my Wind Rider? That's Evil Sons. Or Wild Rider. Where the hell did I put Wild Rider? You solved it? All of chemistry? We did it, chat. Chemistry complete.
T-minus 90 seconds and counting. All systems are go. For about 90 seconds, launch your space shuttle Discovery.
Let that dry a little bit, and we'll hit it with Draken. I need Bone Tone. Is Bone Tone out? Bone Tone is not out. Bone Tone has to be out. I got Skelly Bone out. I could have swore I would have had the rest of it. Age up these purity seals. do the Draken shade in that area. We're gonna do the eye lenses. Beautiful. Eye lenses need to start as white because I'm going to use some fluorescent on them. Lastly, I'm thinking I want to do bright gold because if we can do some, oh god, I completely forgot that this gold is weird. Do the bright gold on the top side here. The gold I used originally is a little bit red, whereas bright gold is much closer to yellow, but not much. Technically, you can highlight metallics by using different versions of the same metallic. If you ever want to like brighten up areas, try to have like two of the same metal. Alternatively, you can start with a really bright metal and then just use contrast paint to darken areas of it, pull them to certain like different levels, I guess, of visual aesthetic. Gold. Anything on the back? Might want to change. No. This up a little bit more. Why would I know that? Yeah, I had no idea. I had no idea. Let's go eye lens color orange. I feel like we've done a lot of purples and magentas, so if we lean into the orange, I think that'll be fine. Maybe? No, let's go blue. because the wires are red-orange. Let's just do a little bit of blue. Let's kind of do both, actually, because there's 3 eyes. This thing has 3 eyes because it's a navigator. So let's do orange for the main, the big eye. And then we do blue. And we hope that the black paint I put down isn't done drying yet. I did put down a lot of it. I have a new idea for a fun short on YouTube, so I'm gonna try to get that together. But again, it's like I've said, next up is probably gonna be How to Kill Team. We're gonna go over the appendix, the way those things interact. A little bit of extra detail, I guess some just general overviews. Try to get stuff together to record an Underworlds match, so I can maybe do an Underworlds after for a battle report. But I do want to actually do those. Thankfully, the deck building website I found has high resolution, good quality scans of every single card in the game, so that I don't have to scan them. Now I just have my team cards. Every day is a noir film with jazz. Oh, I did not put a magnet. Okay. There we go. So you'll notice how there's still shader spots on it that feel kind of like Nolan, especially on like the metals there, and everyone's like, oh, Nolan's great, Nolan's great. This is Drakensshade. Drakensshade, in my opinion, just as good, if not in some instances better than Nolan, just because it is very close to black, but it's actually blue. We did the pin washing on the back in it. I like how it looks. I do love Nolan for some things, like I'll actually apply a ton of it to a surface to get it to drip down like oil, and I'll just use it as an effect. But if I'm gonna try to shade something a really dark color, Drakensshade. Just feels better. I might actually, I don't know. Like looking at this guy, there might be reason to go back over him and try to pin wash Drakensshade in areas, because he is a little bit too, he's a little too like flat, even with the blue. The blue that I used, is this Drakensshade or is this Leviathan? Before I fuck up, it's Leviathan. There might still be value in washing rocking. You guys are getting hit with baseball right now, aren't you? I do like leaving the seafoam blue in some of the spots on this guy, but I do think Dragon Shade needs to be on here to push some elements. This, ladies and gentlemen, how you pin wash. A good skill to have when you're mini painting. A lot of like visual aesthetic issues can easily be solved just by pin washing a shader. Should probably focus, because I was focused in for visual aesthetic. Yeah, there you go. Real quick pin wash. There we go. God, stand up. There you go. I need to take glue home. Have to remember because magnets. Yeah, because friggin' Hearthkin are just Ironkin and Hearthkin. Man of Iron, though, you're talking about like the you're talking about the AdMech, I guess, version. I wonder if they would put something like this in an AdMech kill team. I could see them doing it because it would be like a Necron kill team, right? Except instead of the leader being the really big mech, it would be like maybe they give you two different of this, right? They give you like two different versions of a weapons platform that you can take one of. And then they give you the ability to build either one and then magnetize the arms on it, or give you like two. But what is the Man of Iron in it? Yeah, but the Hearthkin and Iron can work together. The Salvagers kill team is Ironkin and Hearthkin. The Hearthkin aren't all normal. The Hearthkin kill team isn't all normal dwarves. There's one of the units is supposed to be an Ironkin, at least in the basic way to build them. You give them an Ironkin head. Where did the Man of Iron 40k stuff come from? What specific faction is it? Keepers of the Library Sanctus, Men of Iron, Iron Men, Legendary. So yeah, they're just old. Would the AdMech work with them though? Or is the AdMech like something that doesn't really like this? Because Men of Iron are AI driven, right? And AI is that horrifying thing people don't like anymore because that was the whole dark ages of tech. Yeah, before the birth. So they would be the AI ones people don't like. Would the AdMech use them? Would they interact with them? Because I know AdMech like to repair things and keep things going. I could have swore that short that the AdMech had was an AdMech soldier and sort of a Man of Iron, because there's a lot of visual aesthetic crossover between this and some of the AdMech like vehicles, right? Like the walker tanks and stuff. So conceptually speaking, it would be you'd have like an AdMech tank, so they don't like interacting with them. Yeah, then I don't know. Unless they plan on bringing a Man of Iron squad into 40k, I don't think so, right? Because that's the whole thing. I actually really don't. The one thing I don't like about Kill Team is that the crossover with 40k tends to not happen often, let alone like consistently for like the specialty teams. I don't think Gellerpox is accessible anymore. They were for a while there. I'm pretty sure Gellerpox had a squad card for Death Guard in 40k, to my understanding. Let me check Chaos Demons Death Guard to see. Blue Horrors, none of that. Data sheets, other. Yeah, Gellerpox Infected are now Legacy. They legacied out the Gellerpox after adding them back in. So like with crossovers, right? Like the squad I showed you, Ephelim's Pandemonium, that's still in AOS. Almost everything from the side games of AOS works in AOS, and it still does, and they're not really Legacy. So like 40k shuts stuff down so much that I feel like you would probably see them as a kill team only if they're being added into 40k. But like, I don't know if that would actually be a thing, because I feel like they don't want to add too much from kill team into 40k right now, which is why we're getting teams like the Night Lords, which you could just use as Legionary, It's why we're getting Scorpions versus Scouts, which those were just regular teams. It's why we're getting the updated Mandrakes. They don't want to add kill team squads to the rules of 40k. They want to keep everything 40k accessible if you're playing kill team or not. So I doubt it, unless they do have plans for that, which lore wise probably not. I mean, the main reason this guy's in the Black Fortress is because isn't he like a thing in the Black Fortress that they find and like use, right? I'm realizing now that his head's wrong. Before I go, so yeah, they probably won't use them. They probably won't put them in Kill Team because I feel like they want to use whatever's coming out for Kill Team in 40k to try to maximize sales. Which, from a business perspective, yes. Like, if the community of Kill Team thought Scout Scorpions was a dumb idea and no one wanted to play them, guess who actually kind of wants those models? 40k players. So they're getting them. I mean, the orders, I think, the orders went up for them. Oh, I don't think I need to push this much further, though. There we go. Fixed. Easy mode. So yeah, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. What's the rumor right now that I saw flying around? Chaos Votan, Chaos Admech. They're gonna try to add a Chaos variation of a bunch of the factions, kind of like how Drakari and Aldari exist at the same time. Seems kind of wild. My money's on maybe in a story, but I don't know about the rules. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. Follow the Discord because I don't know if I'm going to be streaming the rest of this week. Like, I just don't. Because I got work that's coming up that I got to do. So, high possibility that I don't get to stream the rest of the week, which kind of sucks because we have the bugs to do. We've got the Blood Angel to do, which I prepped for. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 models I haven't even prepped yet. So, little annoyed. Video's already out today. Check it out if you haven't already. Going over codexes. Hopefully we can do the How to Kill Team Appendix stuff next week. And that's probably also why I might not stream this week, is to make sure I can get that video together for next Monday. Thanks for hanging out. Always awesome to see people talking in chat on the middle of Monday. Till next time, guys. Later.